Hey everybody, Mrs. Mercier here. So I wanted to share a couple of different note-taking sheets you can use while you're researching. And they have a couple of things in common, and the one that you choose is going to really depend on the types of notes that you're taking. Now, you may end up using one note-taking sheet, multiple of that sheet throughout your research, or you might use a mix and match of them. Whatever you end up doing is fine. So just to point out that up at the top of every sheet, it's going to ask you for your source. You need to write that down. And there's this little visual reminder to remind you to click MyBib and also make sure that you're logged into your Google account with MyBib, because otherwise it will not save your source, and then that's going to be a lot of work. Same thing, all of your sheets are going to ask you to write your research question down. Now, this is a great graphic organizer note-taking sheet. If you are taking notes from a source and you're noticing that there is a picture of something that you think is going to be really helpful to explain how something works or how something functions, or to really, that gives really great detail of what something looks like. And it also has an option over here for notes. No, you're not going to take a picture of like, oh, this is what Abigail Adams looked like. You're going to take pictures of something like, this is how the heart gets blood to, different parts of the body. That would be a good diagram or picture. And then at the bottom here is your conclusion. So based on the notes that you took, what is your final thought? Like, what did you learn from that information? I don't foresee you using this note-taking sheet every time you get some information from a source, but you might find that maybe one of these is going to be beneficial for you. Another graphic organizer here is very similar to a web, and it allows you again to put your source, the little visual reminder from MyBib, topic goes in the middle, and then what you're going to do is put the information you learned from that source in these little fact bubbles. Now, one thing I just want to point out is that let's say you find something on stopbullying.gov. Only information you get from stopbullying.gov is going on this graphic organizer. If you now go to BrainPop and get information about bullying from BrainPop, you have to get a whole new note-taking sheet and then name the source BrainPop and write down any facts you get just from BrainPop on that sheet. And again, when you're done, you're going to synthesize all this information that you got and what is your final thought and what is something that you learned from that source. And this is great if you're somebody who likes to see your facts spread out. And then another one is that's great is if you feel like you have a good sense of space and you feel like you're going to be able to really cram a lot of information in, then this is a great graphic organizer for you. Again, source, remember to MyBib it. Your question is going to go over here, and here's where you're going to write your notes. Now, my suggestion is that you put a little bullet next to each new fact. And again, this one page for one source. So if you're on Nat Geo, only your information from Nat Geo goes here. And then if you go to the World Wildlife Foundation, get a new graphic organizer, note-taking sheet, and that one is going to be just for the WWF. And then once you're done, you're going to look over your notes. You're going to synthesize the information and be like, okay, so from looking at all of this information, this is what I've learned, and this is what I think the point is they're trying to tell me.